sorry I had to run and go grab a thing of water. I was, whew, yeah. Welcome, welcome. Good to see everybody here. Look at this crowd. Whoa, the crowd's all here. Yay, Linda. Yeah. And so Linda and Tamara have something going back and forth. They're talking about Madonna's here. I see that. Fatima. Ooh, she's watching a podcast with Greg Braden. I'll have to watch that. Where's your email? Let's see. Who else? I saw it. Fatima's here. I was watching Sonia's Garden State painting earlier. Madonna's here. Saw her there too. Where else did I see Madonna? I saw some other people. I think I'm on Lori Houston. I was watching Lori Houston earlier. And there's Angie. You're not late, girl. You're just fine. There's fine. Yep. And there's Larry. Hiya, kids and kittens. Yes. all the rest. Thanks, Linda. That's so sweet of you. Today has been, just a day. Whew. I had several things I did, and now it's kind of like one of those things where I have to go back and go remember what I actually did. But it felt good. It felt good. We are committed to the shed that we're going to build in the back. We got that all taken care of. Got everything ordered last night for that. Whew, that was a thing. And then Bob's going to get his garage back. He's very excited about that. And I'll move all the art stuff out there. Probably still keep the recording studio right here. Simply because I'm not willing to move my computer out there, but I can move all my other art stuff and things like that. Yeah. So about the pyramids. Oh, she said. Oh, my sister Carolyn sent me a birthday card. Where is it? Dang it. Oh, I thought where is it? No, it's not here. I'll have to find it, show it. But I'll tell you what it said. It had two sisters leaning over on their stuff all around, and it said, "We don't need a she shed. We need a bitch barn." And then you opened it and it said, "Because we're grown-ass women and we deserve it." I loved it. Yeah, that's my sister Carolyn. Yep. She would do that. Oh, yay. Yes. That I turned the opening video into a short. It takes just a couple minutes to resize it in Canva, and then turn it into a short. Gives everybody a little hint, and then I can post it on Facebook too and see all that. But you probably got a big hint about who the story is about tonight, the book. And I read several of the ones that I have over there on the shelf about which ones would go with it. And I had to say, this one deserved a spot by herself. And then I have another book that is a fiction book, and it's just really, really fun. Really pretty, and I might end it with another fiction that's just plain goofy, which I think will would be fun. So the first book tonight, everybody, hang on. Oh, itch. Okay. So the first book tonight is by Catherine Lasky. Let me get Catherine's, come on, universal control. Work and let me know where there it is. So Catherine is, here we go. Yes. So she is an author of over 100 books for children and young adults, including the series The Guardians of Ga'Hoole, which is a huge chapter book series, very popular amongst all the kids, was one I read that always was being checked out. It's about these owls. The Guardians of Ga'Hoole series, which is more than 8 million copies in print and was turned into a major motion picture. She's won the National Jewish Book Award, and her work has been translated into 19 languages. She lives with her husband in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I have a book that she early on, like her early books, it shows a list of her books here by age group. Let's see if we can find them by age group. There's the Wolf, and the Wolves of Beyond, and the Guardians of Ga'Hoole. That's another series. Two Bad Pilgrims. I have a book she wrote a long time ago when she first started writing that was one early signature that I had it signed for Annalena when she was little. And she also has done a lot of the My America books, which are historical fictions about different areas and time in our history. Really, so you can see her list goes on and on and on and on. I don't even know if I can find the one. I think I have 4 names for my grandfather, and the Weaver's Gift I might have. Some other ones. Anyway, she's a great author, and I'm really pleased that she did this book. She does a really good job with nonfiction and accurate biographies and whatnot. It's really nice to see. Now, the illustrator is, there was not a lot to find on this. The illustrator is Ora Eaton. And Ora is, let me go back a page here if it will take me back. Yeah. Basically, well-known in Israel for her many illustrated books for children, including No Milk and The Sun is Falling, Night is Calling. And Ms. Eaton, who has been nominated for the Hans Christian Andersen Award, lives in Jerusalem. Not a lot else about her. And the book here didn't have so the work is really lovely. So the book I'm going to read tonight is about none other than, let's see if I can get the screen share off. There's my water. It's called Georgia Rises, about Georgia O'Keeffe. Yeah. Let me get this out of your way. Maybe it'll work over here. Here. Georgia Rises. I think you're going to like it. I love it. A Day in the Life of Georgia O'Keeffe. And Ora Eaton did such a good job of depicting Ghost Ranch in New Mexico, where Georgia O'Keeffe lived, and just giving that sense of what it was like. I think they're wonderful. This end papers. Oh. Oops. Hang on, guys, just a sec. Hey, Layla. Honey, I'm doing my show.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. Everybody say hi, Layla.
Hi.
So I'm just getting ready to start the story. Miss 5th grader.
Oh, sorry. I'll call you after because it's kind of a story, so.
Okay, I love you.
Oh, okay, sorry. Love you.
Bye. Sorry, you guys. Thanks. Sorry, Layla. Today was her last day of 4th grade. She's out of school, so she's been... Anyway, here we go. Let me see if there's anything I can check in with before Fatima, anybody else came in. TV tray. Oh, yeah, it's hot here in Seattle today and in the Northwest. And so we love it. But it's also kind of comes on rather suddenly and hits us like, what? And so there you go. There you have it. And if you're out working in it, oh, yeah. Lupe's here. Nice. Yay. This is down in your neck of the woods, girl. Exactly. Um, being rocks and trees, anything. Yes. So hopefully, yeah, Maria will know a lot about this area. Anyway, Georgia O'Keeffe, A Day in the Life of Georgia O'Keeffe, or Georgia Rises, A Day in the Life of Georgia O'Keeffe by Catherine Lasky, pictures by Ora Eaton. And I want to make sure that that is bright enough for you guys to see. Yeah. Turn this on. There we go. The old lady's back feels crooked as a coiled rattlesnake. She has kinks in her calves and her feet hurt, but still she wants to get up and get going. In 20 minutes, the black of night will fade away and the first lavender will begin to creep across the huge sky. Time to get up, Georgia, she mutters. She unrolls her tight bun, her night bun, and combs out her nearly yard-long white hair. Then she twists it up again. She doesn't need a mirror to fix it right. She's been fixing this bun for more than 50 years. She takes off her nightgown and pulls on her long black dress and then her thick black stockings. She slips her feet into her soft cloth shoes. She looks out the window again. The black is growing thin. The stars dim. Hurry up, the lavender is coming, she whispers. She makes hot water for her tea and pours cold water for her dog's bowls. She sets her teacup down half finished and stretches her arms up high until she hears a tiny crack in her back. One crick gone, she thinks her feet don't feel too bad. She grabs her bag, her paint box, and brushes, a canvas for painting, and her walking stick for scaring off rattlesnakes. She walks through a narrow passageway and into a dirt courtyard, past the well in the middle. On the lid of the well, 3 black stones gleam in the grayness of the dawn. She stops to move one, then rearranges the other 2. Now they look right. She walks through a door in the thick adobe wall into the desert. As she stops and sniffs the spicy smell of the sagebrush, a raven flies overhead, printing its black wings against the gray sky. Georgia stretches again. Another crack, and another crick gone, and she walks briskly, her eyes looking up. The sky is purple now, and a slice of silver moon still sails over the desert. She looks down the path. A bone gleaming white sits as pretty as angel wings just ahead. Georgia likes bones. She picks up the bone and holds it high and closes one eye. The moon skims its top. She tilts the bone and captures the moon for one brief instant. The purple is already fading, draining out of the sky, and the lavender will be here soon, she thinks. She sets the bone on a rock and crouches low despite a new pain in her back. If she sits down right on the desert floor, she'll be comfortable. So she does, and takes out the canvas and her paints. She sighs. The sky is finally lavender. so pale it's almost transparent, like the eyelids of babies. The shapes are so simple, the wings of this bone reach up to the moon. Georgia packs up the paints and brushes. Oops, did I miss a page? Nope. Georgia packs up the paints and brushes. She turns toward home. The lavender has faded from the sky. It's now the color of eggshells. The rust-red hills are bleached by the rising sun, and the black raven is back. It is becoming part of the painting in her imagination. The black V of the raven's wings, held in the V of the rock hills. She'll keep the picture in her mind's eye. Along the path on her way home, she picks up a rock and slips it into the deep pocket of her dress. Then she spots a chunk of wood no bigger than her fist that looks just like a ram's head. She picks it up too. Now Georgia walks back through the black door in the thick walls of the courtyard and into her house. All day long, Georgia will paint and think. She will think about bones and rocks and the shape of the raven's wings as it floated over the hills. She will climb a ladder to the roof of her house to watch the sky and hold the bone to the sun. It has a huge hole in the center, and she will watch the sky turn blue through that hole. How wonderful the white bone is against the blue. She has forgotten all about the lavender of the dawn, and she is painting the blue of the afternoon. She has forgotten about the crick in her back and her sore feet. She is painting the whiteness of the bone. As the sun begins to slide down at the day's end, the hills that were bleached at noon turn red again. She picks up her stick and walks toward the sunset. Everything glows a deep pink red, even her own white hair. It is almost neat. Little bun looks almost pink. She wants to paint those red hills, maybe this time not with the raven's wings, but with a ram's head floating above them. She thinks of the chunk of wood she found at dawn. Her paintings grow shape by shape, bit by bit. The sun slips away. Georgia stops. She loves the first few seconds after the sun is gone and the feel of the wind against her in this bare and open place. It is twilight by the time she comes home. Just outside the walls of her house grows a beautiful flower. It blooms only in the evening and is very poisonous. It is called Jimson weed. She stops before she goes inside and looks into its white throat. She decides right then to paint that flower so big that people will have to look at it. For dinner, she eats a spicy stew of chicken with sweet chili peppers, beans, garlic, and onions. She drinks a cup of tea. The night is growing darker. The sky is clear. Soon the stars will climb into the huge blackness of the night and arrange themselves in figures. She must hurry. She must get to the night before the blackness comes. She sets down her tea and goes outside to climb the ladder to the roof. Up she goes, climbing into the sky. She sighs. For the sky is a deep blue, and the slice of moon is so white in the sky tonight. How would the ladder she just climbed look floating against that mysterious blue sky, between the hills now turned black and the white moon? It is a painting already in her head, ready to be put down tomorrow. Georgia crawls down the ladder and goes in the house. She brushes her teeth and fixes her long white hair into a night bun. She pulls off her black stockings and her black dress. She puts on her nightgown and climbs into bed. Her back feels straight. She rubs her feet. They still hurt. But no matter. She will dream of green skies and white bones and the raven's wings. And tomorrow, she will walk out into the desert to look for the lavender of the dawn sky. Hurry up, Georgia. The lavender is coming. Georgia O'Keeffe, 1887 to 1986. She was 99 when she passed. I was not a favorite child, Georgia O'Keeffe once said of her position in a family of 5 girls and 2 boys. She didn't mind, though. She felt it gave her more freedom. Growing up on a dairy farm in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, Georgia had chores, but also time to play in the hayloft with her siblings or to spend alone creating in her own imaginary worlds. As the oldest girl with an opinion on everything, she was the natural leader of the 4 sisters. When Georgia was 11, she took her first drawing class. By the time she was 12, she announced, "I'm going to be an artist." Later, when she was graduating from high school, she was more determined than ever. "I'm going to live in a different life from the rest of you girls," she told her classmates. "I'm going to give up everything for my art." At 17, Georgia enrolled in the Art Institute of Chicago, but the following summer she came down with the typhoid fever and had to drop out. Later, she studied at the Art Students League of New York, but financial difficulties made it impossible for her to continue. For several years, she took various jobs, including teaching art, but she became discouraged with her own work. Georgia felt she was making drawings to please others, not herself. Then, in Virginia, where her family now lives, she took a summer art class and was introduced to the ideas of Arthur Dow, who had been inspired by Japanese art. In 1914, when she was almost 27, Georgia moved back to New York to study with Dow. She began to experiment with abstract shapes and to reduce her use of color. "It is as if my mind can create shapes I don't even know about." Georgia had finally begun to make drawings to please herself. In 1916, a friend showed Georgia's work to the well-known photographer Alfred Stieglitz, who exhibited her drawings in his New York gallery. That same year, she moved to Texas Panhandle to teach. She loved the Texas Panhandle, Texas landscape, and the blazing sunrises and glowing sunsets. "I found that I could say things with color and shapes that I couldn't say in other ways, things that I had no words for." A year later, Georgia became seriously ill. Stieglitz sent a friend to bring her back to New York, where he could care for her. In 1924, the two married. They lived in New York, spending summers at the Stieglitz home on Lake George in upstate New York, where Georgia painted in an old shed she called the shanty. She rarely let anyone see her work, paintings of the lake as well as close-up studies of flowers. No artist ever painted a flower the way Georgia O'Keeffe painted flowers. She magnified the blossoms until it covered a huge canvas, saying, "I'll paint it big, and they will be surprised into taking time to look at it. I will make even busy New Yorkers take time to see what I see in flowers." In 1929, Georgia found new inspiration in the landscape of New Mexico, and everything that she saw there, from the light to the clear colors to the mountains, impressed her. And perhaps because there were so few flowers in this high desert country, she began to paint bones. For Georgia, bones had nothing to do with death. "The bones," she said, "seem to cut sharply to the center of something that is keenly alive in the desert." In New Mexico, she bought a house on 8 acres of land called Ghost Ranch, and every summer for many years she would go there to paint. One summer she discovered an old adobe house with a large black door nearby. She was so taken by that door, she became determined to buy that house too. Some years later, in 1945, she did, and she moved to this house in Abicue permanently in 1949, 3 years after Alfred Stieglitz died. And she would paint that black door many times. With her walking stick in hand, Georgia continued to explore the hills outside her Abicue home. I don't know if I'm saying that right. often in the company of her beloved chow dogs, Bo and Chia. In 1986, Georgia O'Keeffe died peacefully at the age of 98. She had become one of the most distinguished artists of her time. Her paintings can be found in museums and private collections across the country, including the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And so Catherine Lasky says she said she long admired Georgia O'Keeffe's life and paintings and her independence of spirit, and it helped her understand what it means to be an artist. Her research for the book included several trips to New Mexico and a visit to her house. I read and reread many of her letters to friends back east. They're full of details about her daily routine, her house, and even what she ate for breakfast and dinner. They also contain inspiring descriptions of the landscape. So that's how she developed the story of Georgia Rises. Oh, I hope you guys like that one. Hey, Susan. Ah, yeah. Madonna's here. Yes, yes. Hey, Bailey. Is Bailey's here? Where? Hi, Bailey. Anyway, you guys, thanks. Sorry for the interruption with Layla. She's just so excited today. Yes, I've talked to her like 4 times today. She had early dismissal. She's out of school. She's in Mesa, and so they get out of school today, and they don't go back till July 25th because it's just too freaking hot for the kids to be walking to school safely. So modified school year-round school year. Anyway, that was the book Georgia Rises, and yes, it's awesome. Now let me get the next book up, and Universal Control, Behave. The next book is written by Maria Frazee is her name. Hang on, and let me get to that. And I can do this. There we go. Back and back. Okay. So let me take you to this here, has written ton of books too. All the books. Marla Frazee. A bunch. Farmer in the Circus, Farmer in the Monkey, Farmer in the Clown. I haven't read those. She wrote Boss Baby, which I think the movie was based after. All the World, which I read to you guys at one time. I don't know if I read New Baby Train, but she's also the author and illustrator about this. And she has a kind of funny website. She says, one might think that the life of a children's book author and illustrator is so incredibly fascinating that I'd constantly be peppered with a wide variety of questions. But big surprise, I'm asked the same questions over and over again. And she has a whole list of them. Are you from New York? No. Really? You look like you're from New York. Are you sure? I'm positive. I was born in Los Angeles and lived there my whole life. What are your books about? Babies, birthday cake, boxer shorts, boys, roller coasters, Santa Claus. I tackle serious topics on a regular basis. Have I heard of any of your books? I doubt it. I'm going to write and illustrate children's books as soon as I get a few days off from work. That's not a question. If I want to be a children's book writer and illustrator, what should I do? And I love her answer on this. Study the genre and the best books of the past. Check out what is being published today. Read all the time. Read everything you can. Be passionate and honest about what you're doing and why you're doing it. Love it. Tell the stories that matter to you. Oh, that sounds easy. Is that all you have to do? Yes. Would you like a pastry with that? No thanks. Just some non-fat extra hot latte. One last thing. Where can I buy a book? And I love her answer here. Go to your local independent bookseller and order it. It may take a few days to arrive, but how very quaint. If you don't have an independent bookstore near you, Vroman's, Powell's, yay, Powell's in Portland, and IndieBound are sustainable options that will protect the breadth and depth of our literary culture. I love that. She says she was awarded a Caldecott Honor for All the World, and a couple of boys have the best week ever, and Boston Globe Horn Book Award for Picture Book for The Farmer and the Clown. She's 3 grown sons, a little free library in her front yard, and a studio in her backyard under an avocado tree. How How fun is that? And the book that I am going to read is In Every Life. Now let's see if I can get this to get down where it's supposed to be. And there we go. In Every Life. And this is just a beautiful book. And in some ways, well, a lot of ways, it's a tribute to all you guys. In Every Life. In every birth, blessed is the wonder. Look at that. Oh, so beautiful. In every smile, blessed is the light. Oops. In every hope, blessed is the doing. In every sadness, blessed is the comfort. I love this picture. In every moment, blessed is the mystery. In every love, blessed are the tears. And in every life, blessed is the love. I just love this book. I just thought it was so pretty. So, so pretty. It just reminded me of you guys a lot. Okay, now hang on. I gotta get this to do what I want it to do. There we go. Because for fun, goofbally. Yeah. Let's see, checking in again over here. See what Travel Dreamer checking in. So you guys, I signed up for a watercolor class. Out here at the Mustard Seed, they have amazing classes all the time for people, and they're really, and so next Thursday I start in 10:30 in the morning for 5 weeks, a watercolor class. That ought to be kind of crazy. And checking in back here. I'm catching up on the comments. Love the art. Gorgeous illustrations. Yeah. Yes, it's beautiful. Isn't it beautiful? So the next book is kind of goofy. Oh, come on. There you go. Okay, you're going to be big enough. Okay, maybe? Hang on. Got to get it so that it shows right on this screen. Oh, there. Oh, open book. So, okay, be that way. So the next book is by Mac Barnett, and it's illustrated by Jen. It doesn't show me the whole thing. Anyway, I didn't look this up because I just suddenly decided it was a fun one, and I would take a few minutes and for us to laugh at something goofy. And how many of you guys ever played the telephone game when you were little? Huh? Did you ever play a telephone game? Raise your hand. Hands up. You know, sit around the circle. One person tells the secret, and then it goes around and see what it comes out at the end. You might have done it at parties. We used to do it at school all the time as a listening exercise. So Mac Barnett made it into a book. So this is telephone, and I don't know why it's formatting in such a way that it's not letting me get. Let me see if I can get it to. It's not showing that whole thing. It's just Not showing the whole page. So telephone. Here we go. There it is. Telephone by Mac Barnett and illustrated by Jen Corris. And let me move this guy up here. There we go. So check out all the birds up on the telephone wire. And the kids down below. Tell Peter, fly home for dinner. Tell Peter, hit pop flies and homers. Tell Peter, prop planes are for flyers. Tell Peter, put your wet socks in the dryer. Tell Peter, rock stars are admired. Tell Peter, crocodiles are liars. Tell Peter, lobsters are good hiders. Tell Peter, my monster truck has big tires. Tell Peter, I'm too high on this wire. Tell Peter something smells like fire. Tell Peter there's a giant monster lobster named Homer. He smells like socks and he breathes red fire and his eyes blaze like stars and he rides a crocodile that flies and he's coming to this wire. Tell Peter to fly far, far away. He's too young to be somebody's dinner. Hey, Peter. Your mom says, fly home for dinner. That's it. That's it. That's the story. That's the goofball story. Science demos at local elementary school. Yeah. So I just wanted to have a little bit of a laugh. Goofy, fun laugh story. I couldn't believe it. When I first read that one, I was like, oh my gosh. We played telephone all the time with school. Why is that not going? There we go. Back. And that's that for that one. Anyway, you guys, I hope everybody's having a fun time doing some artwork or doing something creative. Whatever you're doing, even if it's some gardening that you're doing and something like that, snap a picture of it and send it in for Sunday so we have some of the things that you do for creativity. What do you do that gets you all motivated? Okay. I'll put this here. You guys can see this. Hang on. Go over here. That's back to that, but I will get rid of the screen share. Okay, so all those little things that I was doing, the other day, little tiny things I've been cutting out, or painting, I decided to cut them out. And who knows what they're going to be. I might do this was just kind of some fun thing. Silly little goofball thing. This was a splotch of paint that I added, made it into this kind of thing. Here, put it on the plate. I have all these plates that were my grandmother's, and I am using them for all different kinds of things. That one, I might save that one for Christmas. It's kind of a reverse poinsettia. Little things like this, little goofy bunny. Here I have these guys. I have the frog and the goofy bird. And I think I have another goofy bird here. I have a fair number of goofy birds. Yes. They maybe can go together in a story. And then the flowers. Anyway, I found this to be, for me, you know how you do stuff like that and you think, ugh, that's no. So I just started outlining and then cutting it out. And it made it kind of fun. And then I doodled on it. I took my white pen or colored pens and different kind of things and scribbled on them. So who knows? So show stuff like that. No, Larry. Hi, Larry. Thank you, Larry. He says, I'm excited for your watercolor class. You should be surpassing me shortly. Well, different levels, different talents, different styles. You know, if I get even a little bit toward the beautifulness that you put out there, oh my gosh, I still, you know, the Prince of Botswana. I showed the Prince of Botswana to a whole bunch of people the other day at Tarts because they were talking. They'd been to my art show and my photography show, and somebody was raving about the warthog photo, and I said, oh, but my friend Larry took it and elevated it to a whole different level, and oh my gosh, these are all Tarts is all a group of artists, and they were very impressed. Very impressed. All right. The snails out. Angie, my dad and I used to throw the snails out as far as we could. I taught my kids how to make slugs bounce. That's a whole nother. You know, the slugs will bounce if you probably don't want to hear that. Somebody might like slugs, not me. Toss them in the air and they will bounce. High enough arc, the more bounces you get out of them. We used to have like slug bouncing contests. Terrible. Oh, that's terrible. No lizards here, hoping the birds got them. Oh, yeah. We don't have a lot of lizards up here. Yeah, not a lot of lizards. Rory and her little buddy were all excited because there was a garter snake out the other day, and they thought that was pretty spectacular. My bird period. I know. I have all of those. I should cut a whole bunch of them out. Got a whole bucket for. I sometimes just sitting cutting those out is very therapeutic. It's good for my hands. Anyway, you guys, I'll stop rambling and let you go on with your evening. I just always love being here with you. It's so much fun. But I know I got to call Layla back, find out what happened. She called me when she got home from school and she didn't have her key. We were trying to get her to go over the fence because we knew where to open the side door, but she wasn't tall enough to get this. And then when she did stand on something that she could drag over, she wasn't powerful enough to open. Oh, it was just a thing. Finally, she called her dad, and because he thought she had her key, so she went over to her friends. So we'll see what's going to happen now with it. But she was fine. She was fine. She just had locked out. She goes, I'm locked out. Oh my gosh. So we were talking. Eating my hostas. Oh, slugs are yuck. And it's the slugs. The trick with slugs, it's best with a glove because you get slug slime on you. But when you touch them, they'll roll up and curl up in a little ball. And then if you toss them up, I do. Or you can just bury a like a cup in the ground and fill it full of beer, and then they'll go in there and bye slugs. They like beer, yes. Yeah. Frozen here. Oh no, hi Mo. I'm sorry you're frozen. Oh my gosh. Mona, I'm sorry. All right, you guys, I will get out of here before I reveal any more terrible secrets about my slug abuse type things. Somebody turns me in for being bad to slugs. We get big slugs up here in the Northwest, and they can devastate a garden in like overnight. So yeah, we're not happy people with slugs. They are just Oh, there. I mean, banana slugs are. It is not in the rainforest. I have seen banana slugs that would go from side to side of a big dinner plate. Yeah. Gross. And then the little ones all over the place. Yeah. Slugs and snails. Slugs and snails. Sounds like the name of a book. Slugs and snails. I would probably get it banned because I would have a story about tossing slugs and somebody would. Oh, you guys. I read a book. It's by Joe Nesbo. It's too long to read here. It's a kid's chapter book, and it's Joe Nesbo is an author from Norway, and my group morning group that I with it, this one guy's reading Joe Nesbo, and he said he's written some kids books. He wrote a book called Dr. Proctor's Fart Powder, and I've listened to it. I finished it yesterday morning, over 2 mornings of listening to it, and it was so funny. I laughed my head off. It was so funny. And it was one of those books that probably wouldn't even make it into the United States because people would be so up in arms about it's talking about farts and it's saying this and that, and there was all kind of things, but it's hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious, and I'm getting it for my grandson. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay, you guys. Thanks so much for being here, for listening to me ramble on and on, for letting me share a beautiful story about Georgia Rice's wonderful story in every life, and then a goofball telephone story, and some goofball other things. I just so enjoy being with you guys, and thank you so much for being part of Story and Art, for being part of this tribe, for supporting each other, and for just this connection. And it's wonderful. It makes me feel great. It helps me get through the second half of my week. And yes, so don't forget Sunday night, Story and Art Show and Tell. Send in your stuff, and until next time, you know the drill. Keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. But the first place you'll find it is when you go look in the mirror. And I'll see you next time.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Feel alright.
6 kangaroo. Oh my God.
Just stay here downtown.
And the kitten is back.
There's not just stars on the boulevard. They're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards.
Sun hasn't even set here.
I just
Set
need
till
you by
probably
my
10 to 9 tonight.
side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless.
Oh yeah, this is hilarious. Oh my gosh. Oh, it was so all about Norwegian Independence Day and this cannon and this anaconda that lived in the sewer and this bully, the train twins that were bullies, and this little kid named Nellie. That
You blow my mind,
hilarious.
looking like a model, better than the usual.
Yeah, Dr. Proctor after me.
You don't even try, not average or typical. I put you on a pedestal.
Thanks, Larry.
There's not just stars on
Appreciate
the
that.
boulevard.
Slug
There
Police.
is a light in your eyes.
Slug Protection Service.
Don't need no black cards. I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh,
hanging out in the background. Hi.
We could be famous.
Come and be famous.
We could be famous.
Want to be famous with me.
We could be famous.
Come and be famous.
Chair dance time.
We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous.
Want to be famous with me.
We could be famous.
Come and be famous.
We could be famous.
Want to be famous with me.
We could be famous.
Come and be famous.
So cute.